Hey everybody, so today I'm gonna start this project I've been putting off for a while. I'm gonna make that fall down on the floor because it's really heavy. And I think the UPS guy really hates me because I caught him on my security camera peeing on my tire in my truck. Anyway, today I'm gonna weld up and start the project of building this Rogue Fab Model 600 tubing bender. Rogue Fab M600 HD. This is what I'm about to build. Stick around, see how it happens. And oh yeah, all you new subscribers, thanks. Follow along and watch me screw everything up that I touch. Nah, just kidding. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you jumping on board after the big DeBoss Garage International Car Show. Still waiting on the end results of that. But check out what I got going on my channel. For those of you that already have been here, you already know. Shop projects, car stuff, blacksmithing stuff, metalworking, all that stuff. Anyway, on with the video. If we haven't met before, I'm Dave. Welcome to Hammered Ironworks channel. So if you're wondering why does Dave need a tubing bender, because he does blacksmith stuff and he doesn't do anything really nice. Well, about 2 decades ago, wait, that doesn't sound very long, I actually built a stock car with some friends, had a good time racing it, and I needed a way to bend the tubing, and boy, I struggled with that. No, the old clam digger. There she be. A little bit upside down right there, but you know, that was a fun season. Then there's a really dusty trunk lid. That was like the only part of the car that wasn't smashed up. And a dusty picture. That's crooked, because that's how I roll. So now, 20 years later, look at me and all my numbers. I'm actually gonna do it upright with the right tubing bender. Well, I'm not gonna build a stock car, but yeah, I'm gonna bend tubing right. So let's unbox this. I still haven't even opened it, even though there's a sticker on the front that says here's something about doing something, I don't know, open it? I just didn't because I don't follow directions all the time. So we'll open it up and see what we got inside. Yeah. It's okay, I got it, it's okay, yeah. Yeah. Nothing to it. Okay, here we go. Kind of nice, everything's labeled out, boxed really well. Got some pins and springy thingies and probably directions. We'll figure that stuff out. I got my invoice. I had purchased a sweatshirt, some stickers and stuff like that, because I mean, you know, I was shopping. Right here you can see some of the additional things that I got. Check this out, a hoodie with no welding burns in the sleeves. So I'll get this stuff all unboxed and then we'll kind of scan over what come in here. So I'll tell you what, whoever runs the Saran Wrap there, they do a good job. I'm not sure who the Saran Wrap, but I just want to put in a good word on his performance. I got plenty of Saran Wrap here. Saran Wrap. Aha! Under the Saran Wrap is my gauge I ordered up in some little gauge holder. Okay, so I got a lot of the pieces for the actual framework that I'll be welding up. Then here's all the different dies. So I did get the roller upgrade. I bought up on a little angle gauge, and this die that I've got, I mean, that thing's pretty cool looking, but basically it's for the 175 pipe, so 1 3/4, and then it's got that 6-inch CLR. CLR is centerline radius, so if you do some sort of measurement thing, it's 6 inches, the way it goes around. Yeah, in the center of the pipe. Oh yeah, let's not forget all my pins and some washers and springy things, and then spacer ordeals and all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna kind of review the directions a little bit and not bore you. I'm really slow at reading. I'll tell you what, these Rogue Fab fellers, they know their stuff. I don't need to read, I can watch a video on the YouTubes about how to put this thing together. And then there's a ton of other videos I'm gonna be watching about how to use it. This makes it easy, I like that. Grab a shop soda. I'm gonna tune up my mind as to how this works. So I've got this squared up flush on the edges right here. I'm gonna put a couple tacks in. I got a clamp holding it tight. And then I also kind of brought it together at the right distance here. Everything lines up unbelievable. Their standard of fitment is way higher than what I do here at my place, let me tell you. These right here are pretty handy. You might want to head right over to the freight where the harbor comes in, you know, get one or two or four. A little bit of a nubby right there I'm going to take down. Now I've got to weld some washers right here as spacers onto these plates. So because of the way washers are made, they have the slightest bevel to them. I'm going to put that bevel side down towards the plate so I've got a higher surface up here to work with. I cleaned up my washers with a little bit of eyeball bummer. I mean, some people call it brake clean, but that's not what I call it. Then I'm going to hold these so they're centered on those holes. And then I gotta tack weld them in 4 spots. And if I keep my weld low, I won't have to grind much off because I need this perfectly, well, flat on the inside, maybe not perfectly. There's nothing around here perfect. Just as a quick cleanup, I'll go get the tops of these welds. Because my welding table, which used to be a pet grooming table that I found at the dump, because, you know, does that saying go from the Trailer Park Boys or Rickyism? I think it's like one man's garbage is another man's ungarbage. Well, yeah, so basically this table right here is not in any way flat, and I have to have this plate right here come to the bottom of these side pieces, so I'm gonna use this wood to space it up. The fitment on these cuts is just crazy accurate. I mean, you don't get any better than what they've got. Base is pretty well tacked all together. Of course, I'm going to go back over everything and put in some pretty solid welds. This is actually the HD version of this, heavy duty. My welds are going to be heavy duty. Maybe not pretty, but they'll be heavy duty. Anyway, I'm going to take and work on that, and then we'll move to the next step. So I've got it all welded up, tried to make it look like a leopard. Nah, just kidding. Basically put way too much weld on it. Tried to not put too much heat into it so I didn't warp anything. So the instructions kind of lay it out exactly how it's supposed to be so you can't screw it up. And then basically this is a protection bar you're putting on here for a sticker that goes up here later on. So you put your welds to the inside so it doesn't interfere with the sticker. I'm not going to say any names, but somebody screwed up because they were looking at directions but didn't actually pay attention. You're supposed to basically, you know, have this one right here. So now somebody has to unweld. I got her on right this time, only took 2 tries, and then I unwelded over here. In my never-ending quest to be a better person, I reviewed the directions to make sure that I put the washers on the correct side. They even specifically say lay them out as in the picture and flip them. Thanks for that, guys. I'll pay attention. Okay, so let's talk about mistakes. A, when you're playing around with a little plastic boat, don't take the steering wheel off and stick it up your nose. That story's for you, Dad. Then, another thing is what you're going to want to do is pay attention to the directions because they clearly say to put that guard all the way around on one side. I didn't pay attention. And Also, when you're playing around with your cheap phone to make a video about putting this together, make sure you put it in the right mode so the colors aren't all washed out. Hopefully I fixed that. I just reviewed some of the video and it's looking kind of cloudy in here and I'm kind of blurry and stuff, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got. I ain't working with much. Okay, so now I've got to take and assemble this, and what you end up doing is using this, this hydraulic ram from Harbor Freight. They give you the part number, and put that in first, assemble the rest of it, and so I get a chance to see what it looks like, and maybe even make it work. Then I'll break it all down, paint it, and go for my first test bend a little bit later on. Little Allen set screw holds this on. Just makes it easier to relieve the pressure. So on the end of this Harbor Freight ram, we then got to put this little W-shaped thing that ends up hooking the return springs up to it. And then it gets pinched on there with a nut and a bolt, which I'll do. And then this little T-piece goes on here. This is actually an upgrade from the standard model. It only comes on the heavy duty and the extra heavy duty ones. So I'll go ahead and tighten these up. Then I guess the theory is you sort of snake this thing into there. Rotate this around, I guess, and get that ram started. That's better. Then stretch out these springs. I mean, what could go wrong here? Same on the other side. These holes up here dictate what center line radius you're using for your dies. So I think I go here. I'll have to read the directions. Because I don't read directions, I put a quick release pin down here where a bolt goes. Nah. Then your roller goes in right here. It all depends on your CLR again, I think, as to where this goes. So then you got this other roller in here where this is one of the heavy duty ones that goes in. So this is the gist of what this thing looks like. I probably got some of the wrong pins in the wrong place, and I don't have washers where they go, and nothing's tight because I got to break it all back down again to paint it up. But I put my air nipple in there. Look what it does. So basically, you put your pipe right through here, and it will bend it around that to whatever degree you stop at. That's the gist of it. But now I've got to clean up and paint it up. Well, that was lame. So I broke it all down. Now it's time to put some spray balm on some things. I might brush some silver or gray paint that I got on the mainframe just because I've got it and never used it for another project. So my paint's dry, I got some stickers to put on, and that's always fun. And it's a good thing I got a lot of them, because the gray paint I put on the mainframe, it looks like I painted it with gray cottage cheese, so it's a typical Dave paint job. Whatever, I'll put stickers on it. So I've got this thing all together. It's looking pretty racy. I'm not really the fastest kind of guy at putting all these pins in. It takes a little bit of shuffling to get some washers in place and everything. But all in all, it comes together. Looks super. But am I gonna learn how to like bend tubing with it? And that's tubing, not pipe, because there's a difference. Anyway, I did find that you had to put a little bit more hydraulic fluid in the ram that I got from Harbor Freight, because that ram is not designed to operate laying down. So it needs a little bit more fluid and you've got to actually overfill it by about a half a quart. So I went to the NAPA and I got some, you know, hydraulic jack juice, put it in there. Now we're all good. Okay, time to get some pipe. Let's bend it up, see what happens. Oh my God, it's tubing, not pipe. So I've got myself some 0.95 wall thickness, which is pretty thin. I think they recommend using like they recommend not dropping your pipe on the floor. No, I think they recommend using like a 0.120 or something. But you know, recommendations are, so they're kind of like gas cracks. Everybody's got one. So I'm gonna set my zero by taking up any play in the pipe on this little, you know, dial thingy ordeal here. I've got this fancy gauge that I'll get used to eventually, but right now I'm just gonna start to use this because I gotta put batteries in that and I don't have any, so I wanna try this thing. So that right there is a cute little 45. I went a little bit past 45 because of spring back. Oh yeah, I know, you're digging on these glasses. I saved them from going to the dumpster. How sweet are these? Anyway, that's a pretty good 45 right there. No deformation, no snake belly on the inside. Now I'll lob that off and make myself another bend. Wait a minute, I'm not gonna cut it. I'm just gonna make another bend right after it. Cut it later. That's 67.5 right there. So I did a number of different angles, that way I'd have something to work up. So like I was saying, I could kind of mock up some ideas in my head. Got myself 290s, and then look, I did the unattainable 180. I mean, honestly, for thin wall tubing, which you're really not gonna get the best results with, it really doesn't have a whole lot of flattening in it. It does a great job. Definitely good enough for what I know how to build. In conclusion, this is a really good way to go. I'm very happy with what I've got. My paint really isn't that good. You didn't see up close, it's pretty hideous. Anyway, it's gonna do what I needed to do and then some. Very capable piece of equipment. I got the build it yourself kit. You can buy into whatever level you want. They even sell graphics so you can make them look faster than this one looks. I mean, this thing looks like it's doing like 70 just sitting there. Anyway, I think this is gonna work for my purposes. I got myself my patterns made. I'm gonna buy some more material and who knows what I'll build with this. Maybe a front bumper for the TRUCKMARO. That'd be sweet. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Stay cheap, cheesy, and crafty. We'll see you in the next episode.